No.
All right, guys. Does anybody have questions from that session? One thing I'll bring up, it doesn't matter, like, as long as yeah, that's it, fine. One thing I'll bring up is the scoring position that Blake did, all right? I'm playing guard. Blake fucking jumped guillotine. He's good at it, okay? He finishes it. I don't have to show the position, but he jumped guillotine, okay? I got my hooks in, swept him, passed, mounted him, yeah? It's 9 points in 5 seconds from him jumping guillotine, yeah? In the first 30 seconds of the round, yeah? So you've now gone down 9-0 against someone that is probably not going to give up 9 points. I've never given up that many points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in terms of decision making, guys, it's a bad decision. If we were doing sub only, beautiful. Okay, you fucking jump for submissions all you want. But we weren't. We were doing IBJJF. We all agreed on that. Right? So he's down 9-0. So his thought process, guys, was wrong. His technique wasn't. He got a chin strap. I just defended really well. Was able to turn it into a sweep. He could have scored nothing, but he did. So the decision is wrong, guys. You've got to really think about your decisions. Okay. Peaches made one there. I saw most of the round before that. Peaches was doing really good. Blake got some positions, but Peaches was fighting. Peaches shot a lazy double. Blake jumped on a Kimura armbar. Decision making. You know, there's 20 seconds left. Peaches probably knows that Blake can't pass or has trouble passing. You know, pull. Why risk getting submitted in the last 20 seconds if you're not going to go like all in for it? Does that make sense, guys? The technique's not wrong, and he's not bad at jiu-jitsu, but the decision is wrong. You've got to get on top of those decisions, yeah? Anyone else got any questions?
So he used to free the deep underhook, putting the out bottom. I think he didn't feel great, but I was fine. I was going to have to almost give up my back to get my.
I think that's the problem there. It's not so much getting out; it's being proactive rather than reactive. So making sure I don't get it isolated. But when I do, just disrupting me enough to get it back. And when I get it back, don't let me reboot the system. I mean, the same thing happened to Mark. Bryce actually escaped one of my head and arms, and then I brought it straight back and got a different head and arm. So just speaking particularly on myself, if I isolate your arm, it doesn't mean it's over. But a lot of you get out and go, okay, now I can get out. You know, reboot the system there. You've got to fucking go. You can't let me have another breath to start to pin and isolate and things like that. Because again, I'm not really, and I speak about this with you guys all the time, like I got subs today, but I wasn't really hunting them. I wrote in my journal. I just want to control. So like, I don't care if you get out. You know, Mark, when I had Mark mounted, he was fucked after like 90 seconds. And it wasn't because I submitted him 3 times, it's because every time he got out, which he did, rebooted the system, rebooted the system, rebooted the system.
And there's that smothering pressure the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that snaps you quick.
Yeah.
So I don't think you guys are doing the wrong thing. I just think you're being reactive over proactive. And I think that's an issue. But that's an issue a lot of us have. I have that issue too. Like, especially when I'm playing guard, I'll let Peaches walk into my guard and set up his pass, and then I'll start to play. But let's say I want to go false read Peaches. If I fucking attack that false read, there's a good chance I'm going to get it. But I'm very reactive over proactive. It's something you've really got to, as a team, be more accountable to each other for. You know what I mean? And it's accountability when we're training. You know what I mean? Like, not calling the person out in a negative way, but I said to Jack today, like, Jack started walking around my guard again like he does. Last time we had a round, he did that for 5 minutes. So I said to him today, are we doing the same thing today? And then he was like, oh, and he fucking started to go, and he actually had a really good round.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, there's no negativity toward Jack, but we've got to be proactive with our speech as well as the physical side of things.
Yep.
Do you agree? Like, you got anything else?
Yeah, active drilling. Once you got the arm elevated, your second arm, you're like bridging across with it, and letting that, like, person on top get like chest pressure behind the tricep. So I think like this needs to frame on the hip when you're training, so that like at the very least you're blocking their hip from using a pass around to that. Your second arm was just always kind of like turning over, and then it's just you kind of get flattened out like this.
And that's the major dilemma, whether you let me attack that arm or you try and use your other arm, and as soon as it crosses the belly button, that's back exposure. Yeah. And that's the dilemma that they talk about a lot, is they're trying to get people to do either give the back or try and escape their arm getting attacked. You know, that's the big dilemma. So what Mark is saying is,
In regards to decision making, do you recommend have like a protocol you do to get better at this?
what do you mean?
Like, is it like with your intentions, like your intention journey? Do you think it's a matter of just experience or just like continually?
It's experience, but I think it's more accountability. Like, again, I wrote down in my journal what I wanted to do today, and I guarantee if I bring it out now and show you guys, you'd be like, oh, he did do that. You know what I mean? I stuck to it, even when I didn't want to. You know, there were some times, and again, there's some positions I could do to you guys, and it's not being arrogant, as many times as I fucking want. But what's the point of that? You know what I mean? And you would have probably seen the same things over and over again in the round. And you're probably like, oh, one, he's being lazy, or two, he's fucking tired, or whatever. No, I've got a specific focus. So at the moment, it's hip clamp instead of half butterfly, and using the hip clamp for shoulder clamps, for leg entries, for wrestle ups, blah, 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 right? Well, I got hip clamp on all of them. It's a tick for me today. Yeah? Because I was accountable to what I set myself out for. Now, I'm not always, man, I wouldn't so much worry about the decision making, whether it's right or wrong. It's whether you understand what you're doing and fix it from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So Blake made the wrong decision. It's whether he makes the wrong decision again is the problem.
But it's correct.
Yeah. But in that situation, the decision was wrong. In another situation, the decision is right. You get what I mean? It's hard to explain, but like, it's not necessarily a technique, but it was that direct situation. You know what I mean? He jumped for the Kimura on Peaches. That was a good decision in that moment. If Peaches had slipped out and got on top, he now lost 2 again. He's in the same position.
There's only 30 seconds out, 2 minutes down, yeah.
Exactly. He's literally in the same position there. But one he came out on top, the other he came out on the bottom. So if that was me and my rounds, that's what I'd be looking at. So when I film the rounds with people, I'm not looking like, I know I sometimes put like little highlights on. Again, that's marketing shit because I go get paid, right? But in terms of like when I actually sit and watch the thing, it's the decisions I make at certain times, and I remember what I felt at that time. Oh, Peaches was putting this pressure on. At one point, Peaches got like the false reap I was talking to him about, right? I got the false reap, usually he fucking backs off, he attacked my foot, and what usually happens is I let people attack my foot because I feel pretty comfortable. But instead, I wrote in my journal today, don't counter leg locks, look to pass off leg locks. So what I did is I rebooted the system, came out of the position, re-entered the guard to try and get a sweep. Does that make sense? So the decision was, could I have let Peaches crank on my foot? Would I have tapped me? Maybe. I didn't feel that bad, but maybe he could have got a good one. But the decision in that moment was, done the wrong thing, take it out, reset yourself, go back into your game. Does that make sense? And then I can leave today going, I was accountable today. And again, I think Sam spoke about this last night, it's not going to happen every day. If you expect to be like that every day, you burn out. Yeah, but you have to be like that more than often. If we're only training 3 days and you're training 3 days somewhere else, let those other 3 days be your play days, your fucking, I'm loose, my mind is loose, I'm relaxed. When you're in here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're accountable every single minute, every single second. Not just to yourself, but to each other. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Anyone else got any? No? Alright, no? No, pretty good. Alright guys, that was awesome. Okay, we've got one more Wednesday. Alright, I'll put another post up. I mean, Kev, thanks for coming down. See if anyone else wants to come down. If not, it's all good. And then we'll go into open mats. Over the open mat period, guys, please make sure you're still trying to keep the work rate up a little bit. Alright, but again, more importantly than anything, enjoy the time, Christmas time, the family time, the rest time, the relaxed time, okay? I might be working, but I'm fighting first. If I was fighting in March, I'd definitely not be on a diet right now. I'll be eating and drinking and I'd be enjoying the time, alright? So please make sure you guys do that. You're not going to hear from me and be like, where are you? Where are you? Alright? You guys do your own thing once we close this week. And when we come back January 9th, we're on.
January 9th?
January 9th is the Monday.
Yeah.
We will have pro class that day.
Okay. Yeah.
Alright? Cool? Alright guys, hands in, hard work on 3.
Oh, look at this.
Nice. 1, 2, 3.
Hard work! I want it,
Thank you very much.